Here we see the world at the very beginning of time. It is a simple world, just rocks, water, grass, and wind, but not much more. We believe the world looked like this for a very long period, but we cannot know for sure, because no one was there to keep track of time. We do, however, know that this period came to an end with the sprouting of the first tree. Within days, giant swaths of leafy and coniferous trees covered most of the world, stretching hundreds of light years across, covering every single continent. And so the age of the forest had begun. This period lasted for several weeks, but as the trees came in contact with the rocks, their natural attraction made them bond together, and the first buildings were born. Buildings can take on traits from both their parents, growing tall like trees or flat like rocks, and when enough buildings live together in a single area, they join together to form giant building colonies. These are what we know as cities. The inside of a building is an ecosystem all of its own, for within its hollow organs, several species of lesser creatures have made a home. Furniture, plants, and consumer items all live within the building. It's a symbiotic relationship where they provide the building with nutrients and ambience in exchange for protection from the outdoor climate. Horses. The undisputed apex predator of our world. They have existed since before the beginning of time, but it is in recent years that they have evolved beyond their translucent form and have become visible to the naked eye. Besides horses, one more sentient species lives on our planet, which brings us to our protagonist, the person. An uninvited, plainly dressed guest to the world's fancy costume party. Neither horse or building, the person is a completely unique element in our world. It spends a great deal of its time rummaging through the outdoors, searching for food such as nuts and fruit, and absorbing vitamin D from the sunlight. Any off time the person has is usually spent searching through jackets and drawers for loose change, traveler's checks, or other valuables. Or reading crime novels. Ah, yes. Interesting. The person gathers consumer items as a way of attracting a mate and solidifying its status within the social hierarchies. The person is a curious creature by its nature, and it will often travel far from its home, ever expanding on its territory. This can unfortunately lead to some very nerve-wracking confrontations. Sometimes it might be best to return home. Faced with the existence of another, the person is left contemplating on its existence. After a while, it tidies up around the house and the yard, says farewell to its friends, and leaves it all behind. This migration is a journey that every person must undertake during its life, leaving the comforts of solitude and safety behind for a chance of experiencing the joys of togetherness.